Across the globe, in mountainous regions, mysterious openings exist, gateways that puzzle geologists and defy logical explanation. These are not natural formations. They are portals, sealed for generations by local communities who instinctively understand their inherent danger. While conventional science attempts to rationalize most of these anomalies as ancient mines, forgotten shrines, or defunct military installations, a select few remain stubbornly outside these neat classifications. They lack hinges, visible construction marks, or any discernible purpose, yet tales surrounding them echo across continents with unnerving synchronicity. Today, we explore 7 such enigmas, each a tangible reality. Heed this warning. The 7th gateway is protected by the profound silence of an entire people. In Trivandrum, Kerala, India, a temple dedicated to Lord Monabhaktaswamy has stood for over 5 millennia. Beneath it lie 6 vaults, 5 of which were opened in 2011 following a Supreme Court directive. Inside, treasures valued at $22 billion were unearthed. Gold, priceless artifacts, hoards of coins, ornate diadems, intricate chains, statuary, cascades of uncut rubies and emeralds, and tons of jewelry untouched for thousands of years. This discovery marked the most significant single treasure find in human history. However, the 6th vault, designated Chamber B, remained sealed. Its entrance is a colossal metallic door patented by millennia, devoid of any lock, hinges, or apparent mechanism for opening. It stands in its frame like an unyielding monolith. No expert, however skilled, could ascertain its installation or removal without destruction. A judicial commission was appointed to breach it. Upon arrival and inspection, they recommended against further action. Local lore speaks of a powerful serpentine enchantment, a nagabandham, inscribed upon the door. It is said that anyone attempting to open it without the proper ritual will unleash something that should remain contained. The priests assert that the ritual's knowledge is exclusively for the initiated, a lineage unbroken for 5,000 years. The commission members, lawyers, and officials, individuals not prone to mysticism, unanimously concurred with the recommendation to leave it undisturbed. Ground-penetrating radar revealed a vast space beyond, filled with a dense substance. The precise nature of this content is a subject official science prefers not to investigate. Chamber B officially remains sealed to this day, despite the immense wealth garnered from its adjacent vaults, a fortune that has fundamentally reshaped the economy of the entire state. Near Lake Titicaca in Peru, at an altitude of 3,812 meters, a rectangular niche is carved into crimson cliffs. Measuring 7 meters in height and 7 in width, its edges are remarkably precise. At its center lies a smaller recess, the size of a person. Behind this opening, the rock face is solid. There is no passage, no chamber. The surface bears mechanical, parallel, and uniform traces of processing, indicating a tool moved with consistent speed. Andesite, one of the hardest volcanic stones, was worked by a civilization believed to lack the metallic tools capable of such precision. Geologists who examined the surface in the 1990s concluded that the marks were left by something harder than any material known in pre-Columbian South America. Indigenous legends claim these portals predate the Inca. They were, it is said, the departure points for the first peoples. The last to leave was the priest Amaru Maru. He placed a golden disc into a circular indentation at the center, and the gateway began to glow. Witnesses described a visible passage into another realm, a verdant tunnel stretching into the distance, and Maru Maru stepped through. he was never seen again. The perfectly circular indentation, 15 centimeters in diameter, remains precisely in the center of the smaller niche, at the level of a human heart. What was its purpose? The official explanation is silent. In Estonia's Lahimaja National Park, a vertical fissure in the limestone rocks is too regular to be natural. It measures 1 meter wide and 3 meters high. Its edges are polished, suggesting prolonged and regular passage. Limestone subjected to natural weathering does not exhibit such polish. It crumbles. This surface has been uniformly abraded from top to bottom. 10th century German chronicles mention stone gates of spirits, to which locals would repair on specific nights coinciding with the solstices and equinoxes. Priests attempting to seal the passage found the stones removed by morning, according to these records. 3 such attempts are documented, each time the stones having been shifted without any sign of tools or drag marks. Several individuals who spent a night within the fissure reported the same phenomenon. A low, pulsating sound emanating from the depths of the rock, approximately 18 hertz. This frequency corresponds to infrasound, below the threshold of human hearing, but within a range that induces inexplicable unease, a sense of alien presence, and occasionally visual hallucinations. Is this a coincidence or the cause? The question remains open, coupled with a persistent feeling of being watched. No geological explanation for the sound has been provided. Mount Kailash in Tibet, standing at 6,638 meters, is revered by 4 major religions: Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and the ancient Bon tradition. No one has ever summited this sacred peak, not due to impossibility, but because of an unspoken prohibition respected by mountaineers themselves. In 2001, a group of Spanish climbers received official permission to ascend. Monks worldwide launched a petition, gathering hundreds of thousands of signatures. The expedition was canceled. The Chinese government rescinded the permit, an unprecedented action. On the southern face of the mountain, at an altitude of 5,000 meters, a rectangular indentation in the rock, 4 meters by 4, displays a form too precise to be natural. At such heights, glacial erosion typically creates rounded, smoothed shapes. The right angles here clearly indicate deliberate shaping. Photographs taken from helicopters in the 1990s show geologists confirming that the surrounding rock had been worked. By whom, when, and how, at 5,000 meters in an area closed to visitors for millennia, there are no official answers. Local monks refer to this place as an entrance. They do not specify where it leads, but add that whoever enters without preparation will not return as the same person. Mount Shasta in Northern California, rising to 4,317 meters, has been the site of reported phenomena since the 10th century. Tourists and locals have described individuals in white attire emerging from and vanishing into the rock face, and of doors within the stone that open and close. The earliest documented accounts date back to 1880, long before the mountain gained its current mystical reputation. Witnesses from different eras, unaware of each other, have reported the same occurrence, an opening in the rock that would seal as they approached. In 1987, geologists recorded large, regularly shaped cavities within the mountain at depths ranging from 100 to 300 meters. These were not gas bubbles, but distinct cavities, their regularity highly atypical for volcanic rock. The findings were published in a niche scientific journal and did not receive widespread attention. Geological surveys responded to journalistic inquiries with brief statements indicating the data required further study. Mount Roraima, situated on the border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana, stands at 2,810 meters. Roraima is a tepui, a tabletop mountain rising almost vertically from the earth. Its flat summit hosts a unique ecosystem with flora found nowhere else. Scientists believe the plateau developed in isolation for millions of years. In 1884, British geologist Everard M. Thurn was the first to ascend. In the northeastern section of the plateau, he described a rectangular opening in the rock, 2 meters by 1 meter, with edges that appeared to be the work of a tool rather than nature. The quartzite of the plateau is one of the hardest mountain rocks on Earth, making manual shaping virtually impossible. M. Thurn did not enter. He wrote in his diary, "Something in the depth of this aperture held me back from approaching." He was an experienced explorer who had undertaken several expeditions in South America. He did not elaborate on what he felt, and his diary entry ends there. In 2010, a Venezuelan expedition described the site as an anthropogenic structure of unknown age, thus officially acknowledging that the stone had been worked. Who, when, and why, the expedition left unanswered, recommending further research. No such research followed. In the Kaikoura mountain range of New Zealand's South Island, the Maori people are reticent to discuss a particular site with outsiders, not from superstition, but as a matter of principle. This location is mentioned in oral traditions as a gateway that remembers all who have approached it. The Maori believe the place is alive, not metaphorically but literally, and that some knowledge is too perilous to share unnecessarily. In the 1890s, British geologists recorded an ideally rectangular opening in the basalt rock, 1/2 meter wide and 2 meters high. The interior walls were polished. Basalt does not weather to produce such a smooth surface. It was intentionally worked. One geologist descended 3 meters into the opening. He noted in his journal, "The walls are cold, though it is a warm day outside." Air moved outward from the interior with constant velocity, as if something within were breathing. I did not venture further. I cannot explain why. He was a geologist, a man accustomed to explaining phenomena through rock and pressure, and yet he did not proceed further and could not articulate why. Maori elders requested the British to cease their investigations, and they complied. This site is absent from official geological maps of New Zealand. By an unwritten agreement between the government and the Maori Council, the place remains unvisited. The accord, unwritten, is nevertheless strictly observed and has been for over a century. All 7 of these gateways share a common thread. Wherever humans have attempted to enter, they have either stopped themselves, emerged changed, or not returned at all. And invariably, local populations who have known these places for millennia have offered the same counsel. We know what lies within. That is precisely why we do not go there. Perhaps at times, the wisest course is to leave the door shut. Who knows what truly resides on the other side?